The last texture stitch that we use in the Nearly Winter Capelet is the Twisted Rib Weave. And we use 2 identical rows at a time. So the right and the wrong side, nope, take that back. The first and the second row will be the same, and then we'll switch to a new first and second row. We'll do our 3 edge stitches here. Now the base stitch for the twisted rib weave is a twisted rib. So we'll do 2 rows of twisted rib, which is going to be purl 2, and then knit 1 through the back loop, which causes a twist. That through the back loop is important to get the twist, because with a weave this loose, if you just knit it regular, the knit column pulls open and is not very nice looking. So we're going to purl 2, knit 1 twisted, which is through the back loop. Purl 2, knit 1 twisted, all the way to the end. And again, you'll just stop on whatever stitch you're on when you get there. Here we are at the end. I'm just working a twisted knit. I have a purl 1. That's all I have room for. That's fine. So I'll just end on a knit 3. All right, here we are on our first wrong side row, and we just need to match what we've done on the front. Of course, we are on the back, and so everything will be in reverse. We'll knit our 3 end stitches and see where we are. So I see a knit here, so that was a purl from the front row, so we'll knit it. And this is a twisted knit, so it's also going to be a twisted purl. You are going to twist both sides of the stitch in this column. So to work a twisted purl, instead of purling through the front loop, we're going to purl through the back loop. So you're just going to reach behind and grab it and bring it forward, and that will make it a twisted purl. So on the back, the pattern is knit 2, purl 1 twisted. The most important thing to keep in mind with this pattern is that you've got to keep your twisted rib columns stacked on each other. Your purls, which turn into knits on the back, will stay in columns, and your twisted knit is a twisted purl on the back, and those stay in columns. Everything else moves across your background of twisted rib. Okay, here's our last 3, and we'll knit them and see what we've got on the front. We have the beginnings of a nice twisted rib. All right, the next 2 rows are what I refer to as the weaving rows. And again, the right side and the wrong side will follow the same stitches and do the same things. So we'll do our 3-stitch garter. All right, now the way these work is that our slip stitches are going to be a purl, a knit, and a purl, spanning one of these ribbed ridges, and then skipping the next one. I'll show you what that is. So here we have this twisted knit rib right here with a purl on each side. Those are the 3 that we're going to slip with yarn in front. So we've got this purl to start out with. So we'll purl, and then slip the purl, knit, purl, and then we're going to purl the next one. When you do this float from this first purl over to this last purl, go ahead and pull the float relatively tight. You don't need to like squinch it all down, but don't leave it loose. Go ahead and get it over there. Once you've done that sequence, you will go ahead and do this next rib in the twisted knit and the purl after it like normal. Now we've come to, we slipped across this first purl ridge, we purl knit purled the next purl ridge. Now we're going to do a slipping one again. So we've already purled, the yarn is in front, so we'll slip a purl, slip a twisted knit, slip a purl. Now here we're at the next one. So we're going to treat it like regular knitting with purl, twisted knit, purl. So now the next one we come to, we're going to slip. slip purl, slip the knit, slip the purl. The next one, we will work across regular. Purl the purl, twisted knit, purl, purl. All right, there's one more so we can slip it. Slip the purl, slip the knit, slip the purl, and then here we are at our last 3 that are garter stitch, so we'll come to the back and knit them. Whoops. All right, it doesn't look like much after you've done your first slipping row. All right, on to the wrong side. We will be mirroring everything, slipping the same stitches and working the same stitches. So here we've got our 3-stitch garter. Now if you can't tell from the back, you can flip it over to the front. This one was clearly slipped because here is our giant float. So we will slip these 3 again with the yarn in front so that we have 2 floats together on the right side. So we'll just slip on the back. It's a knit, a twisted purl, and a knit. And then these 3 are worked. So we'll work the knit, work the twisted purl, come here you, and work the knit. Now we should be up to the next slipped one, and we are. There's our float on the back side. Slip the knit, slip the twisted purl, slip the knit, and the next one will work. Work the knit, work the twisted purl, work the knit. This one will be slips, slip, slip, slip. Next one is worked, knit, twisted purl, and knit. This will be close to our last one. There are the slips. 1, 2, 3. And then we have 1 knit, and then we are at our edge stitches. Okay, so now we've got our 2 weaving rows. They still don't look like much until you add the next 2 plain ribbed rows, which I will do off camera, or I'll at least speed it up because that'll be boring. So the next 2 rows are just exactly like the first 2, where we work the purls and the twisted knit rib on the front, and then on the wrong side we work the knits and the twisted purl rib, keeping all the columns in alignment, and you work right across these stitches that were slipped last time. All right, now that we have another 2 rows of our twisted ribbing, you can start to see how the floats are going to bar across one set of ribbing, and the next set of ribbing is up, and then the next set gets bars across it. So this was 2 rows of regular twisted rib, 2 rows of what I'm calling the weaving row, where you slip across the purl knit purl on every other column, then 2 more rows of twisted rib straight up, and I went ahead and knit the purl knit purl that I had been slipping. That's why these stitches in here are a little on the loose side, is because they were slipped. So now from here on out, every time you get to a weaving row, you will simply alternate the columns. So here we slipped over the first column and we left the second column alone. Now on this row, we will work across in regular twisted rib, and we'll slip here across this column. We'll knit across this one, we'll work across this one, and then we'll slip across this one, so that our slips will alternate onto our other columns. All right, and here we have our second set of weaving row up here on the other column. So we're just alternating columns, and for the pattern, you'll do 2 more rows of the twisted rib, another set of weavings back on this original column again, because we have here and then over and then back, and then you'll end on 2 rows of twisted rib. And that is the end of the twisted rib weave.